Yellow again, guys. It's Yago Chair here, back with another video on the channel. I had no intention of posting this. I was gonna post what if Naruto had the did know, but I fucked it, so I'm just gonna post this one. So this is what if Naruto was the banished prince of the Otsutsuki clan, pretty much. I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get straight into the video. So we're gonna start off this video on the planet of Otsutsukis. Currently, one Kaguya Otsutsuki has given birth to two children. She was married to the god of the Otsutsuki clan, who in turn was, the king who ruled over all Otsutsukis. He was very strong. So to have both lineages, both two children, to succeed him. So the king of Otsutsuki came up with a plan. Instead of having, two children, one must be subservient to the other. And that would depend, on the raw power they both had. So when the king, looked at both his children to gauge the levels of power they had, he noticed, that they were equal, which surprised him greatly. How is this possible? How are they both equal? He said. Since it was customary that if the Otsutsukis were to have twins, one twin would be weaker than the other, but in terms of these two, they were both the same. So the king, in his mind, began to think on how he would judge his successor and how he would hand over successorship to the next of his children. So both children were given names. One was named Naruto and the other was named Momoshiki. I know you guys are questioning Momoshiki, but yeah, I'm just gonna say Momoshiki because since I have no other name, or you guys can give me a name for him. Pretty much, just tell me in the comments. I should have made a poll for this, but I'm lazy as fuck right now, so nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not. So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. So these two children were raised up until the age of 4. At the age of 4, Kaguya Otsutsuki is given a mission to go to Earth, where she just decides to take Naruto with her, since her mission is gonna be longer, and Kaguya liked Naruto more than Momoshiki, since Momoshiki looked like his father, and Kaguya didn't really like that. Pretty much, she preferred Naruto, who had some of her facial structure and a few other features of her, pretty much. So she then took one twin. So the king looked at Momoshiki, who had been left behind, and began to give the boy some chakra for him to get acclimatized to it and see how far his power would grow. So it took Kaguya 3 years to get from Otsutsuki planet to to the elemental nations, pretty much. So when Kaguya arrived, she found that a divine tree was planted there, which in turn is the chakra fruit which was there. So Kaguya then took the chakra fruit, which she cut it in half, giving half to Naruto and taking half for herself. So Kaguya still fell in love with with that human, pretty much, and she bore 2 sons, which she named Hagoromo and Hamura. To which Naruto, they saw Naruto as an older brother to them, pretty much. So when they eventually grew up and found out about what Kaguya was doing and they were against it, they went and asked Naruto's help to stop Kaguya from doing whatever she was doing. But Naruto already knew why Kaguya was doing this, and he supported Kaguya full-fledgedly, pretty much. So when the brothers didn't like this, they went and fought with their mother. So as they were fighting with their mother, pretty much, Kaguya lost the battle as usual, resulting in the Tentos being separated from her, and she got sealed. So they began to battle the Tentos when Naruto appeared. When he sensed that Kaguya, he couldn't detect his mother's chakra, As he, looked at the moon and saw that, that's where she was contained. To which Naruto was very pissed off, as you can see the expression in his face. That's what Naruto has. But he also has, an eye on the middle of his forehead, as well as two eyes in his palms. Hagoromo, Hamura, how could you seal away mother? Naruto says, as his voice is full of anger, as he rushes at them both, shooting them with a palm blast, which sends them both flying away. Naruto looks at the 10 tails pretty much as it immediately falls under Naruto's control, since Naruto was, a direct descendant of Kaguya, to which, the 10 tails only listen to Kaguya, but, against its will. But, since Naruto was like, Kaguya herself pretty much, he quickly, subdued the 10 tails and, began to draw power from it. So Naruto wasn't just absorbing, the power of the 10 tails, he was absorbing its essence. It's the being, its essence, what makes it up, what allows it to have, unlimited amounts of chakra. That's essentially what Naruto was doing. But, the brothers came up upon him and they began to fight. To which Naruto was then forced, to suck up the 10 tails into himself. So this is where it gets interesting. The brothers began to battle it out months on end. The fight was endless. It was brutal. Destruction occurred everywhere. Land was destroyed. Continents were sunk. It was just madness. As the brothers were keeping on going. So Naruto suddenly screamed out in pain pretty much. The 10 tails had been fighting since it felt its threat to his essence, which was being absorbed by Naruto. Naruto had absorbed about 65% of the 10 tails essence pretty much, to which that was a threatening level pretty much. So the 10 tails was fighting, it was forcing large amounts of chakra into his system, which Naruto resulted in Naruto throwing out the 10 tails pretty much, which left him considerably weak, since his chakra course had expanded to a large degree and his chakra was not in any proper control. So Hagoromo took this as a perfect opportunity as he struck a killing blow to Naruto, which he stabbed him in the heart with his sword, the one which Orochimaru has. I don't know what you name it, yeah, whatever, that sword. So as he stabbed Naruto in the chest, Naruto looked at the stab, as he just smiled. To think that you could have defeated me, Naruto says, as he starts to chuckle, as he then coughs, vomiting a glob of blood. Well, I have news for you, Hagoromo. I'm gonna come back. And when I come back, I'm going to destroy all your precious creations. I am going to suck this planet dry of all its chakra, and I'm going to free Mother, Naruto says, as he coughs up blood. Naruto's body suddenly begins to grow as it starts to disintegrate, to which this was surprising to Hagoromo since he had never seen anything like it. But Naruto had just used one of his abilities, which was space-time manipulation. So Naruto's soul was cast into along with the soul and chakra was cast into a space warp as it vanished. So Hagoromo goes on as usual. He spreads his ninja on the planet. Hamura goes up to the moon to guard Kaguya as well as the 10 tails husk, which had been divided into 9-tailed beasts, which Hagoromo conveniently named, which I find just dumb. But yeah, he did that, and everything began to go as in canon. First Shinobi War, second Shinobi War, third Shinobi War. All actually happened, up until the birth of one Naruto Uzumaki. So, Naruto, the original Naruto soul was still, going around, as it came up upon a strong energy signature. That energy signature was belonging to none other than Naruto Uzumaki, who had got, the QB sealed within him. So, when Naruto's essence felt a familiarity with, the chakra, which was, in the boy, it quickly dove over, and shot into the boy. The Ninetales felt its host getting invaded, to which it was astonished at what the hell was going on. So Naruto Otsutsuki's soul quickly assimilated itself into the baby Naruto, as since it was stronger, it devoured the weaker soul. So Naruto Otsutsuki has complete control of this body, so that you guys don't ask me questions in future, since I'm pretty much don't like answering these questions. So yeah, Naruto Otsutsuki is the one who has full control of the body. So I'm gonna time skip. Naruto's like 4 years old, pretty much. Naruto, was currently running from his life, since the villagers had been, be after him. They had been hunting him ever since he had turned 4, and today was the day he was gonna turn 5. And they called it the annual fox hunt. They were hunting Naruto. So the third Hokage was pretty much lenient on these people. Just gave them to do whatever they wanted, as long as they go overboard. Since he wanted to keep Konoha stable, and that was the only way for him to do it. But he really regretted this deep inside. But he couldn't show any favoritism towards the boy, since Naruto was also under the civilian councils. So the civilian councils, regiment, or they are ruling, since he was still a civilian, not a ninja. So the Hokage had no control over this. But however, the Hokage didn't interrupt some of them, as some of his Anbu were able to save Naruto, which were Kakashi and Itachi sometimes. But if they were missions, Naruto would be beaten to a bloody pulp. So this time Naruto was running as he found himself heading into an alleyway. As soon as he arrives into the alleyway, he finds out it's a dead end. Shit, these villagers are gonna beat the hell out of me. I've never even done anything to them, Naruto says to himself. And suddenly the villagers come in, start throwing kunais and shuriken towards him. So Naruto begins to feel anger, an anger unlike before, an anger that, if left unchecked, can destroy the whole world. As Naruto's eyes glow for a brief second, slightly purple, as a force is unleashed from his body. This force destroys everything around him in 2 yards at best, sending the villagers flying. Hiruzen was currently doing some paperwork, felt this as he and his Anbu jumped out the window, rushing to the surprisingly football-sized crater. As soon as they reached there, they found one Naruto lying face first in the dirt in the center of the crater. Around the crater, there were villagers, who had been flung up everywhere. Some had been squashed by buildings, some were dead, and Hiruzen was shocked. What the hell? Hiruzen said, as he told his Anbu to awaken and question these people. Which the people also didn't know, since they just felt a force explode from the boy, which destroyed everything. Hiruzen began to suspect that it was the QB, but he held no real evidence, so he wasn't quite sure. So he had to wait until Naruto woke up. So Hiruzen took the boy to the hospital, where Naruto was healed up and monitored by Hiruzen. Naruto didn't take too much time. As he woke up and as he looked at Hiruzen, Naruto had a deep disdain for this man. This man always lied to him. Naruto could sense it. This man was guilty, filled with so much dread. Naruto, then pull off, his mask, as Hiruzen didn't really know if it was a mask. Naruto started acting all goofy, with the third Hokage as they were chatting. Hiruzen then asked Naruto if he knew anything about what happened, which Naruto denied, saying that he didn't know a single thing. But goddamn, Naruto did know what was happening, since the memories of him had been surfacing and coming back to him bit by bit. As he was sleeping, some of the memories that came back to him, so he remembered who he was. He was Naruto Otsutsuki, son of the Otsutsuki god, and the one was to be next in line to rule the Otsutsuki clan. So we're gonna shift our perspective to the Otsutsuki planet. We find one Momoshiki training, as he's training brutally. He wanted to be stronger than his brother. He wanted to outwit him. The deadline for Kaguya to return to Otsutsuki planet had long passed, so the king was a bit worried to what had happened to his wife, but he focused on training his successor, since he didn't know what was going on. So he was focused on training Momoshiki, as he taught Momoshiki some techniques, some fighting styles, as well as how to absorb the chakra from the chakra fruits. the Momoshiki was pretty buff right now, but we'll see when he confronts Naruto. So going back to Naruto had been discharged from the hospital. As he headed back to his apartment, Naruto got his apartment. It was trashed as usual. He just took some cleaning materials and started cleaning up. After he was done cleaning up, he sat on his bed as he closed his eyes. Naruto began to focus on his memories as he began to see everything that had ever happened, as the goals, everything he had swore, everything he had promised Hagoromo and Hamura came back with him. Revenge. I will train myself and I'll have my revenge. I will rule all the Otsutsukis and I will free my mother, Naruto said with deep determination. So guys, I'm gonna leave this off. I'm not even sure if you guys are gonna like this, but the like goal for this is like 5 likes. Pretty low, I know, but yeah. I really don't know how you guys are gonna react to this series. Or if not, was the Demon Prince is also gonna be coming out soon. So I hope you guys like and sub to the channel. Yeah, Coachia out.